Hey everyone, let me take you back to 1896, where Europe was powerful, industrialized, armed with motor rifles and cannons. And it was dividing Africa like it was an empty map. Britain, France, Belgium, Germany. And then there was Italy, young, ambitious, and desperate to prove itself. Most African kingdoms were fallen one by one, but there was one place that refused to bow: Ethiopia. And this is the story of how Ethiopia didn't just survive, but how it just shocked the world. Italy wasn't like Britain or France. It had only recently unified as a country. It wanted status, recognition, and power. In Europe at that time, having colonies meant you were important. So Italy looked toward the Red Sea. It already had Eritrea, and beyond Eritrea stood Ethiopia. Ancient, independent, proud. But Italy underestimated what that independence meant. They didn't see Ethiopia as a serious military power. They saw it as an opportunity. The mindset would destroy them. In 1889, Emperor Menelik II signed the Treaty of Wuchale in Italy. At first, it looked peaceful, but here's where it gets interesting. In the Amharic version, Ethiopia could ask Italy for help in foreign affairs if it wanted. In the Italian version, Ethiopia had to go through Italy for foreign policy. One word difference, but politically, it meant colonization. Italy announced to Europe that Ethiopia was now its protectorate. Imagine finding out someone told the world you belong to them. Menelik did not shout, he did not panic, he simply rejected the claim, calmly, and started preparing for war. Here is something most people don't realize. Menelik had been preparing for years. He had been buying modern weapons from France and Russia. He had been strengthening alliances inside Ethiopia. He understood modern warfare requires rifles and artillery, not just courage. But he also knew something deeper. War is not only fought with weapons, it's fought with unity, and unity is rare, yet Ethiopia found it. Regional leaders put aside rivalries, warriors marched from every direction, farmers left their fields, nobles brought their men. By the late 1895, over 100,000 Ethiopians were mobilized, not forced, but motivated. And beside Menelik stood Empress Taytu Betul. She was not just symbolic. She was politically sharp, strategic, and strongly anti-Italian expansion. She helped strengthen morale and push for resistance when someone doubted. This was leadership at the highest level. On the other side was General Oreste Baratieri. He wasn't stupid. In fact, he was cautious. But Rome was impatient. Politicians pressured him, win quickly, show strength, prove Italy's power. Baratieri knew Ethiopian forces were large, and he hesitated. But pride is a dangerous advisor. On February 29, 1896, he made his move. He divided his army into separate columns and ordered them to march overnight towards Adwa. This was supposed to be a surprise attack. Instead, it became a disaster. Imagine marching at night through mountains you don't know. Maps are inaccurate, communication is limited, units drift apart, distances are miscalculated. That's exactly what happened. Alien brigades became separate by miles. They thought they were advancing together, but they weren't. Meanwhile, Ethiopian scouts were watching, waiting. Menelik did not rush. He understood terrain, timing, patience. By dawn, the Italians were exposed. March 1st, 1896, the sun rose over Adwa, and suddenly, Italian commanders realized something terrifying. They were surrounded. Ethiopian forces began advancing from multiple directions, not chaotic, coordinated. Italian artillery fired, but the numbers were overwhelming. And here's something powerful. Ethiopian soldiers weren't fighting for empire, they were fighting for home. That changes everything. Brigade after brigade collapsed. Italian troops tried to regroup. Retreat became panic. By midday, thousands were dead. By afternoon, it was clear. Italy had lost. Italy suffered around 7,000 deaths. Thousands were captured. It was one of the most humiliating defeats a European colonial army had ever experienced in Africa. Europe was stunned. How could this happen? The answer wasn't magic. It was preparation met in arrogance. Italy was forced to sign the Treaty of Adwa, officially recognizing Ethiopian independence. And this is important. While almost all of Africa fell under colonial rule, Ethiopia remained free. News of Adwa spread far beyond Africa. In the Caribbean and in the United States, Black communities celebrated. For colonized people around the world, Adwa became proof that European power was not unbeatable. It became psychological resistance, and sometimes psychology is more powerful than guns. Adwa showed that unity, leadership, and strategy could defeat empire. Decades later, under Benito Mussolini, Italy tried again in 1935. This time with airplanes and chemical weapons. Ethiopia was temporarily occupied, but Adwa was never erased. It lived in memory and identity and pride. And eventually, Ethiopia regained independence. Adwa was not just a battle, it was a statement. Adwa teaches us something simple but powerful. Never underestimate people who are united. Never assume superiority guarantees victory. And never forget that history is full of surprise. On March 1st, 1896, Ethiopia did more than win a battle. It defended dignity, it protected sovereignty, and it changed how the world saw Africa. For one unforgettable day, an empire came seeking glory and left carrying humiliation. And that is Adwa.